She was shot dead on her honeymoon. Within weeks, the police were accusing her husband of arranging the murder. The case sparked an international manhunt, years of court battles, and one of the most controversial murder trials in modern history. But in the end of it all, her husband walked away free. In November 2010, Annie and Shrien Dewani were newlyweds. The couple were from Bristol and they'd been married for just 2 weeks when they were enjoying their honeymoon in South Africa. On the evening of the 13th of November, they had dinner together and spent time walking along the beach near Cape Town. Annie wanted to experience some of the real South Africa. Rather than going straight back to the touristy areas where all of the hotels and things were, she wanted to see some of the real stuff. So the taxi driver, Zola Tonga, left the motorway and headed towards Guguletu Township. As the vehicle travelled through the area, armed men stopped the taxi. The vehicle was hijacked, the driver, Tonga, was forced out, and the couple were kidnapped at gunpoint. A short time later, Shrien Dewani was pushed from the vehicle and left behind, but Annie remained inside the car. The hijackers drove away with her, and the following morning, a local resident noticed the vehicle parked at the side of the road, called the police, and when they arrived, they made the devastating discovery. Annie Dewani was found dead in the back of the taxi. At first, it looked as though it was just a tragic consequence of a violent carjacking, but investigators soon began to suspect that there was a lot more to this story than they first thought. Within days, the police arrested several men connected to the hijacking. One of them was the taxi driver, Zola Tonga, and then the case took an interesting turn because Tonga claimed that the hijacking hadn't been random at all. Instead, he alleged that Shrien had approached him and offered money to have Annie killed. Tonga told the investigators that he had recruited 2 other men to carry out the attack. Those men were Kalele Mgeni and Muswamwadoda Kwabe. Public opinion became quickly divided. Was Shrien a traumatized husband who narrowly escaped death, or had he orchestrated the entire thing? Tonga eventually pled guilty and received an 18-year prison sentence. Mzwamadoda also entered a plea agreement and he was sentenced to 25 years. Kalile was later convicted and sentenced to life in prison. All 3 implicated Shrien in various ways, but there was one major problem. A lot of the evidence that was coming against Shrien came from convicted criminals who stood to benefit a lot from cooperating with the prosecutors. Prosecutors argued, of course, that Shrien had paid to have his wife murdered. The defence argued that the state's witnesses were unreliable and that they'd repeatedly changed the stories. During the trial, a lot of things came out, saying that there was difficulties in the relationship and in the marriage already. And then came a moment that stunned many, many observers. Before the defence even had a chance to present its case, the judge dismissed the charges. The judge ruled that the evidence presented by the prosecution was so unreliable that no reasonable court could convict of it. And so on the 8th of December 2014, Shrien Dewani was formally acquitted.